Oh, hi everybody. Just want to have a little chat. Not going to put any guns on the table, not going to do anything crazy. We're just going to talk. So, there's a lot of craziness going on right now. It's probably the most wild stuff anyone's seen in a while. And quite frankly, tempers are high on both sides. And I'm not going to lie to you, my temper's pretty high too.
What I was thinking of was, oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
I think it's important to look at the last year and do a self-assessment. I do it myself. Grantham actually did some videos on that and has made it more of a thing, which I appreciate. I used to do year in review videos to like 500 views. It was a little lengthy and long-winded, and I'm trying to do better, unlike my refrigerator right now. So I think what's important to do now with all this stuff going on is take a step back, take a breather, unplug. I've tried to take this weekend and unplug from social media and a few other things and gather my thoughts. Spent time with friends, went to the range, went to, challenge my body and a few other things, both with diet and exercise. The diet being bad, the exercise being good. And I found a few things. Sometimes reflecting on diarrhea from a taco truck. And other times, getting clarity from the wonderful euphoria of working out.
It's as satisfying to me as coming is.
First, a self-assessment. What did you do well? What did you do poor? What did you have? And what were you lacking in? I found that the way I stock things is actually pretty good. It got me through a lot of stuff. And I was able to sustain myself longer than other people without having to go do stuff. However, that doesn't mean it didn't strain me, because while I was lasting for months at a time on the things that I did stock while everything was out of stock, I did go through those items like normal, And I didn't have people over to my house because I didn't want them using my toilet paper and stuff like that. However, I was able to wipe my ass, drink smart water, eat food pretty decently, and still shoot. It was also kind of nerve-wracking because I was still assigned to a ship and we were out to sea for a lot of this stuff first kicking off. So luckily I stocked the things I did the way I did, because when I came back it was all gone. So that's a lesson I needed to learn. As far as firearms and ammunition, luckily I'm pretty even with how I do things. However, I had some financial stuff happen and I couldn't do it at the same pace. Luckily, the stocking up I did way back in the day, I mean between 2010 and 2014, way back in the day, has carried me through this long. So that's important. However, I have used some of that ammunition, so I'm not sitting in the best place. So just because I'm better off than some people doesn't mean I'm where I want to be. Financially speaking, I had a lot of hurdles I wasn't prepared for. And just when I'd replenish my bank account, something like a giant wrecking ball would come through and ruin my face. So, a lot of interesting challenges, a lot of stress, but ultimately I came out on top and I survived. Now, politically speaking, I'm not really going to weigh in on where I'm at. Most of you can figure it out. And I'm definitely not too happy right now. So, what do we do moving forward? I'm going to paraphrase a quote. The measure of a man is not how he acts in triumph, but how he acts in defeat. And I didn't get that quite right. I'm positive. I know someone in the comments is going to correct it. But if you're really upset and feeling disenfranchised or feeling like something was stolen or something like that, you can't just quit. All right? Just because something is hard now doesn't mean it won't be easy later. And just because something isn't right doesn't mean it won't get corrected, and so on and so forth. Now, whether it gets corrected because you have a hand in it or because you contribute money to legal causes that are pushing your direction, whatever, that's up to you and up to those circumstances. So that's something to look at. For me, the things I disagree with that affect me directly are things that impact my finances and firearms. So those are the two things that I'm going to keep a very close, watchful eye on. I can't really affect taxes and stuff, but what I can do is make sure I plant my ass in a state that doesn't tax my paycheck and that I start learning investment strategies or figuring out how to better my position, doing the things that I have control over. However, that doesn't mean I'm going to say that dumbass quote that all the leadership says when they're screwing you over, you know, only worry about the things you can control. That works when you can do it, but if you're in a completely disenfranchised position or someone else is in control of your stuff, kind of makes that statement a little difficult. But it does kind of apply here. So I'm really 50-50 on that because I don't like the people that say that stuff. So what I'm going to say is this. There's a lot of gun control legislation around the corner. We have to fight every single piece of it. I've seen some channels say, hey, these bills are designed to fail. They're going high so that they can come in lower and get some other stuff. Or, you know, this bill isn't as serious as this one. They're all bad, okay? They're all terrible. And it's just going to stay terrible for the next 2 years and possibly 4 years if your ass doesn't get out and vote. So here's my recommendations for things moving forward. Here's what I'm going to do personally. I have set goals for myself. You know, I'm not going to really put it out here, but I've set goals for myself as far as finances, stocking things, and purchasing things, and stacking money to the roof. I'm also going to send money to the FPC and GOA so that they can do the legal fights for me because I can't be there. And we have to do things the right way, which doesn't seem expedient because the legal process is slow. But you saw what happened when 300 people stormed the Capitol. They somehow called everyone, you know, all 75 million people, terrorists. Whatever those talking heads come up with next to divide us. So it's important to keep the hearts and minds of people and show them that you are a reasonable person, you do reasonable things, and you're going to do things the right way. Even if they keep changing the rules and moving the goalposts, you'd be like, all right, that's fine. I'm going to do this instead. And just keep doing it. And then, you know, start getting on board with lawsuits and change laws and things like that. Do things the right way. And make sure if you're not registered to vote and you're upset about how things are going, go register to vote and then go vote. It's really easy. It takes up maybe 30 minutes of your day. And be engaged on the local level too. It takes a lot of energy to stay informed and stay on top of these things, but it's better than getting screwed over. Just saying. So definitely give money to the FPC and the GOA. They're actually doing things. FPC more so than the GOA. I'd see like onesie twosies from the GOA this last year. And then the FPC was constantly slamming my timeline. I don't know if it's maybe like what I was thumbing up and stuff, but the GOA I didn't see as being as active. You may have, but I didn't. So I'm gonna put links to the FPC and the GOA in the comments. And please donate money to them because they're gonna fight the stuff for you. There's also times where they'll put out like, hey, this legislation's coming. You can write your representative, fire it off, and then they ask you for money, unlike the NRA. 5 seconds on the NRA. They're garbage, they're corrupt, they're trash. However, we shouldn't root for their demise because it'll be a massive ideological win for the left. So I'm not going to send them any money till they fix their problems, but we need to be engaged with them because they do have lobbyists and all this other stuff, a lot of infrastructure in place. They abuse it and misuse it, just like Wounded Warriors. So I don't want to sit here and say, no, we need to keep sending them money. I said that shit before and I took a step back and I'm correcting myself now. Don't send them any money. Every time they call you, say, listen, I want these changes. After that happens, I'll give you money. And hopefully there'll be enough pressure to make those changes and then we can fix them and move forward with our lives. As far as everything else, if you're one of those people that's not going to get involved, just shut up. I don't want to hear, you know, while you're wearing your come and take it shirt or your whatever goon or whatever that garbage is, whatever your stupid posturing shirt is, I don't want to see you wear that and then be like, oh, they're not taking my guns. Just wait until the Civil War or I'll just shoot them or something. You're not going to do that. Don't. This whole fantasy that both sides are pushing that there's going to be a civil war, That's not going to happen for two reasons. One, we have enemies in this world, and they're not as powerful as us by any measure, but they could really cause problems. So unless you're trying to have the West Coast invaded by China, or, you know, a lot of heavy ordnance come in on the East Coast from Russia, I highly suggest that, you know, we don't go down that civil war path. Also, something else is a lot of these people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, they can't shoot, move, and communicate. Shit, they can't run, all right? All these Instagram people, they show off and stuff. But if you're like, hey, let's go shoot in the rain, or hey, let's, you know, go do this physical thing, or hey, let's go do this, they won't. They won't do it. So are they somehow immediately going to come into infantry specialists and know open area tactics, how to shoot, move, and communicate and all these things without doing it? Absolutely not. There's going to be blue on blue everywhere. And we live in a time where the individual is less valued than they've ever been in history. So, albeit back in the day, they valued themselves, like whatever demographic they belonged to, that's who they cared about. But there was a much higher value of human life within those groups. Nobody cares about anybody at all. So if there's a civil war or some sort of bullshit like that, the level of violence that you're going to see is going to be unpalatable to any other human being. It is going to be gruesome. And nobody trusts anybody. Everybody's angry. It will be a bloodbath and no one will win. You don't just get to put your gear on, run downtown, do civil war for 3 hours, and then come back at your Starbucks and your Chipotle and chill in your house and watch Rick and Morty. All right, that's not how any of that works. So some of the places that we live, you can't live unless you have air conditioning. So anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Don't think you can just do all these things. What we need to do is do the right thing, deal with the hands we've been dealt, and learn how to operate in those systems. All right, make some goals, start pushing towards those goals. All right, losing your head, making threats, doing all these things that you're not going to do in the first place is only going to put you at a massive disadvantage, because you're writing checks with your mouth your ass can't cash. It's going to draw attention to yourself, and you're just going to get snapped up. So instead of doing that, what we need to do is be unified, donate to the FPC and GOA. If you don't like a candidate that's presently representing you, primary them out, you know, start pushing another candidate, give them money, prop them up, or just make sure you take your ass down to the polling station when it's voting time and vote. Register, get informed, and vote. Don't vote against your self-interest. Also, with these next 2 to 4 years, and it better be 2, I swear, but in these next 2 to 4 years, what you need to do is make moves, make decisions that are going to better your quality of life. Whether it's, hey, I need to stock up on this stuff, or hey, I need to do this, or hey, I need to get more involved, or whatever. Start bettering yourself. You know, start running. You know, start working out. You know, eat better, do all these other things, and improve. Continually strive to be a better person, however that is for you. Whatever image that is for you, start doing that. It is not healthy or advancing anything to try to push these things that other people want to see. Don't be an agent or a useful idiot for somebody else. Do the things you need to do to get better, whether it's a better shooter, a better spouse, a better friend, a better individual, whatever. Do that. Have meaningful discussions with people, even though they're people you disagree with. Even if it's somebody you really just don't like talking to, start talking to those people. And if for nothing else, then learning how to talk to somebody who doesn't agree with you and how to make points to them to convince them, because you may not convince them, but you might convince people listening. And if you're mellow and level-headed and are approachable, then you can succeed. And be assertive. Don't be passive. Don't be aggressive. Don't let people push you out of society, and don't become bitter, evil, and angry because somebody's done something. Be assertive. You know, carry yourself like a man or a woman, you know, like an adult. Be confident. You know, be kind when you can. And if you need to step it up, just be firm and get through whatever situation you're in. All right? But don't look for trouble. Don't cause trouble. and then don't shy away if somebody's bringing trouble to your doorstep. But damn sure do not go think we're gonna start something, or you're gonna be the shot heard around the world, or any of this other stuff. We have to be smarter, and we have to operate within the system, and we have to deal with the hand that we've been dealt. And that's what we need to do moving forward. So we need to be unified, get better, make those adjustments, and continue to push forward. Thanks for watching. Take care out there.